cool. Well, how you guys doing today?
Feeling fantastic, man. How are you feeling?
Great, great, really good. Chilling. You know,
Chill. That's good. Yeah. And it's Brian, right?
yeah, yeah.
Brian, nice to meet you, man. Burke,
You
Randy.
too.
Brian, good to meet you. Where are you based out of?
I'm in New Jersey, right next to New York. I could drive
Oh,
there 20
dude,
minutes.
I grew up in Philly. That's awesome.
Yeah, I
What
could
part of New
drive
Jersey?
there. I'm right in the middle, Woodbridge, right
Okay, sick.
center. You know?
I used to go to Camden all the time for concerts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep,
And then I
definitely.
worked with do you know Will Putney? He's up in Belleville.
Uh-huh. I used to work in Kearney. That's Belleville's the next town over. Yeah.
Okay, sick.
So,
Yeah.
but
Jersey's
I don't
awesome.
work no more. I'm
Ha,
chilling the rest of my life. Yeah,
that's the dream.
Living
Keep
the
going. I'm
dream.
just gonna move
Yeah.
these microphones out of the way. So it looks like you have antennas.
Oh yeah. And you can hear us both with the two mics, right?
sure.
Yep. Okay.
Sick. Well, how did you find us or how did you guys connect?
We'll go into that. We'll definitely go into that. So,
Right.
ALLBROOK Station,
Yep.
you know, you guys are doing great. I don't get really excited for interviews anymore. I did like 700 interviews and stuff like that.
My
But
goodness.
when Shauna sent me over your press package and I checked out the tunes, I'm a metal photographer. I love heavy metal,
Yes.
but your music movement really exceptional. I mean, I was even talking to my nephew this morning. I said, listen to the passion in this guy's voice, the passion in the
Good.
music. It's like chilling. I get chills, So,
Dude, that is what a way to start the podcast, man.
well,
Holy cow.
it's
Thank
true.
you.
I mean, chemical, uh,
Chimerical. Yeah.
yeah,
Chimerical. Yep.
yeah, Chimerical. That
Yeah.
song, the video and stuff like that, it's just like you got to turn that up higher. Got it. Got
I
to turn
love
it up
that.
higher. And the way you were moving, like, you know, I got into it. And like I said, I'm into Metallica, Judas Priest, and now I'm into ALLBROOK Station.
Oh, dude, I love it, man.
You
That
know,
is awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Because I mean, as soon as you're saying the voice, because I do get a lot of credit being the vocalist, but I know like if you have a solid producer who can get that out of you, that's the
right.
key. I've worked with other producers before who got like decent takes out of me. But Randy, one thing I love about working with him is he's always like, oh, let's try that. Like nothing's off the table. Let's lean into that. Let's go a little bit more chaotic, a little bit whatever. And that helps us have a better, a better performance.
Right,
That's
yeah.
it. I can only do that with a fantastic singer. So it's definitely a team effort.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Thank
Cool,
you.
cool.
Actually, I just realized I'm
But thank you so
sinking
much.
down the whole time in this chair.
Cool, cool.
Slowly
Yeah, literally, I was like slowly dropping throughout the thing. I was like, why am I so low? Okay, I'm here.
You got to put a book under there.
I know, man. I'm not that short, but yeah.
So, we definitely have to thank Shauna O'Donnell, that O'Donnell
Yeah.
Media Group. She's great to me, at least. She, everything that comes past her desk, she sends to me because she knows I'm going to listen.
That's awesome.
Stuff like that.
We've been working with Shauna for the last 2 months, and it's been an absolute pleasure. She is so sweet and really, really good at follow-up. Because I mean, not saying we're living the crazy Metallica life yet, but we are busy. We constantly keep ourselves busy. We're trying to do, and she does really good about making sure, hey, did you see this? Is it confirmed? You have this going? I'm like, oh, I love that. Love it.
Yeah. She's definitely a great person, at least to me.
Yes, to us. Love you, Shauna.
Yeah, cool. Tell me a little bit about your debut album, All We Have is Pain, which comes out next year?
Next year, next spring.
Cool.
Shoot for. You want to take this one? What do you think? Or your thoughts on the album?
Sure. It's a pretty eclectic array of sounds. Again, we're also huge metal fans, but the whole group of the guys in the band, like we grew up on hip hop and pop and rock and all kinds of stuff. So there's heavier songs, there's poppier songs, there's ballad songs, there's sad songs, uplifting songs, and it's I really feel like sonically it conveys a lot of our the type of music that we grew up on. We're all fans of Linkin Park, Metallica, like you said, but through our, I guess, conveyed through our lens, our filter, kind of our life experiences.
Good way of saying that. Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, no, I would say Frank Zoo, the DJ in the band, I remember he was just like, man, I don't like that album title, All We Have Is Pain. You know,
Right.
and me and Jesse wrote all the songs. We looked at it, we're like, well, that's what it is. You know, we like it. But I think over time, because I get what he was saying. He was saying more like these songs are so triumphant, and that could come across so like nihilistic. Is that the way to say it? Like all we have is pain. It's like, oh, we're giving up. And I was like, oh, it's actually kind of the opposite. Is that I feel like no life ever goes, you know, nobody goes through life without experiencing some type of pain, whether it's regret, whether it's being let down, it's disappointment, it's physical pain, mental, emotional, spiritual. And it's like, well, then what do you do with that? Because if that's all you have, you just get bogged down by life more and more and more. And so with these songs, we wanted to make sure it's like you felt the pain. You felt over the last 2 years, the divorces we've gone through, the miscarriages we've had, the death of a father, the death of a brother. We've had awesome opportunities fall in our lap and then just dissipate. And we wanted that. We wanted people to see that, to feel that all we have is pain, but it's what we do with that pain that really matters in this life. And so we are choosing to celebrate that and help other people that are going through the pain, being like, hey, this is just part of the story. Keep it going. It becomes something great. You can choose to become something great through that pain.
Right. Yeah, definitely, definitely. You know, even with me, my wife's a churchgoer. You know, she's a lay leader at church and stuff. I never go. You know, I never go because like I'll start dozing. You know, So, but like I got to hear it at home, so why should I have to go? I got to hear it all the time. You know,
24/7, yeah.
You know, so why are the fans waiting so long for the album to come out?
That is a good tactical reason for that. So I'm a huge believer, like Tool. I think they dropped a 10-minute song, right? This recently. 10 minutes.
Right.
You think a brand new band from Utah can get 10 minutes worth of all those people's attention? So I feel like for us, what we were trying to do is, I believe the statistic is 100,000 songs uploaded to Spotify daily, right? 100,000 around there. And so it's like, what are we doing to gain people's respect and trust? You know, Metallica puts out a new album. My Saturday's blocked. I'm going to listen to that entire album because they've gained my respect and the trust. Linkin Park, it's like we call each other. I mean, Bad Omens just dropped a new song. Very next day, we're talking about it because those bands have garnered our trust. With ALLBROOK Station, we're brand new. You know, you put out Chimerical and you get people's attention. You put out Bad Dream, and then they're like, okay, these guys are actually good songwriters. Put out Sharpshooter, and by the third one, man, that was the most polarizing and divisive because we picked up a lot of new fans, but some people that loved Chimerical hated Sharpshooter. And it was like, I don't like this, I don't like, you know. But then we dropped Crown. And Crown is just blowing up right now, which has been so awesome. And so I think that's what we're trying to do is we're not writing music for everybody. We're writing music for the fans of ALLBROOK Station. And that takes time. It takes time to go and build those. And also it's like on the other end, I want some time to sit with these songs because we poured so much into them. You know, I'm like, these songs demand 6 weeks of attention. And then we drop the next one and the next one and the next. So there will be continual singles dropping until the album. And the cool thing is there's 17 tracks on the entire album. And we had a hard time narrowing it down to like, and we're like, we've got 14 singles on this album that we feel like are on par with everything else, which is a great feeling to have.
Good problem to have.
Yeah.
Instead of struggling with one single and it's like, okay, let's fill the rest of the record.
Yeah.
And there's many more in the pipeline for album 2, etc. So
we had Jesse and I wrote over 50 tracks for this first album. And then like Chimerical and Bad Dream were 2 of the last songs written. And so we were like, all right, let's put those in the front. And so we have like some of my personal favorite of the album, Venom, is going to be the album announcement. And I think that's the song. We played it live for the first time. No one's ever heard it. Second chorus, the crowd screaming the chorus back to us. And we were just like, yeah, this is a hit. This is it. This is the one that will change our lives forever. And so it's been cool. The other thing I'll say, it's really cool to know that not everybody loves just Sharpshooter. Like, okay, that's the one hit. We have people that would go to war for Chimerical, would go to war for Sharpshooter, and across the platforms, like Sharpshooter got 300,000 streams in YouTube alone.
I see.
Then Spotify, Chimerical, it got over 100,000 streams. But Apple Music, Bad Dream did better. And so it's just kind of cool seeing like, all right, it's not just that one song. People all over are starting to hear, and we're starting to know, like, all right, our fans are there hearing us. You know, we've got fans. So that's really cool.
So who writes the lyric? Is it, everybody jumps in, or who does the
So
lyric?
the lyrics is Jessie and I. Jessie and I will get together and it'll be on piano or acoustic, and we'll just make noises and sounds, and then we actually put lyrics to it. And then once we have like the skeleton of the song, once we have like the melodies and all that, we send it over to Randy. And
Right.
Randy will take it and either lean into it and be like, hey, let's make this sound professional, or like in the case of Sharpshooter, let's arrange it differently. Let's make it something more emotional. Which is really fun to be able to hand it off to somebody that we are just like, I know you're gonna kill it. Let's see, you know. And there's no ego with Randy, which is cool. It's not like, well, I want to do a song my way, so I'm gonna do it. Like Crown was one of those songs where he's like, it's 99% there. Let's just put it like on steroids and let's make it bigger and professional.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
With go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, following up with that, sometimes we keep it pretty true to the original demo. Sometimes it's got some pretty heavy reworking, but my mantra that I always bring is like, I'll ask Burke, like, what's the emotion we want to convey?
Yeah.
Because with Sharpshooter, the original version was almost more of like a My Chemical Romance, like major key, kind of like fun kind of song. And it's like, well, this is like a breakup song. So let's steer it a little more heartbreaking, a little more minor key.
Right.
And so that kind of dictates the production,
point.
the arrangement for a lot of these.
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance and Jersey Band, for my, from where I live, like that. So the band started in 2024, only a year ago.
Yeah. So I started off acoustic solo singer-songwriter just by myself when I moved to Utah. It was about 2019. And then over the next couple of years, I got bigger shows, better shows. And it was just, dude, I got lonely up there, like singing the backing tracks, playing guitar. And I was just like, I want a band. And so I called Jessie because he was helping me write some songs. And I was like, dude, the turnaround for bass players is miserable. Like all the good ones are booked constantly. And and he goes, give me 6 months. And I go, you got to find somebody? And he goes, no, I'm going to do it. Give me 6 months. And then and Jesse's just one of those guys that can just do everything like very well. He can sing, he can drum, he can play bass, play guitar. And so he picked it up and I was like, awesome. I've got a bass player who also sings harmonies. And then we found a drummer, Nate. He actually drummed for a couple other projects. And I told him, I was like, dude, I will make you the biggest famous rock drummer of our age. You need to do this. And he's so solid. And then we started working with Randy. And I don't know how that conversation came up, but it was just like you need to be in the band. I need to be in the band. Let's do, and I'm going to brag about him. He's a hot commodity, or is that what it's called? Hot commodity? Like everybody wants him. Like he's a part of, I always say him and Jared Gosselin are kind of mentor manager guy. Like those are the two most famous guys I know, because they just have done amazing things. And so for us to be like the band that Randy's like, yeah, I could do this. I can jam with you guys. For us, and we loved him. Like the first day working with Randy, we were just like, yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy, 100%. He gets it. And so, and then we needed, Randy had a conversation with, I think, a management company or somebody that was like, this is a 3-piece? I can't wait to see them pull it off live. And it terrified me because I was like, how do we do this live and make it organic so it's not just all backing tracks? So then we got Jesse's older brother, Frank Zhu, to come in and help as an auxiliary member with DJ, helping with the synth and all that stuff. So yeah, and then so 2024 was kind of solidified, like this is ALLBROOK Station. We've got all the pieces. Let's push it out there and let's do it.
Now you guys are coming out of Utah?
Yes, sir.
Cool. What is like the music scene there?
Surprisingly awesome.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it. Surprisingly awesome.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where, like, from an outside perspective, you'd be like, oh, why Utah? But like, there's so many. Everyone from, Imagine Dragons, Post Malone, Neon Trees,
right?
Panic at the Disco,
metal bands like Chelsea Grin. There's Aaron Gillespie from Under. Like, it's like once you're here, you kind of like, oh, so and so from some huge band is living in Park City, and so and so's up in Salt Lake. And so it's one of those things where, like, I also find that it's because I do a lot of work in LA and Nashville, which I love, but like I feel like Salt Lake is a lot. I feel like it's a more accessible scene here, as far as like, you know, I'd say easier to sort of build something and then take it to, you know, LA afterwards. So
Right.
it's been a great place to just, as far as like finding, you know, talented session vocalists for the choir, talented, you know, studios that would be a fraction of the cost of, you know, LA stuff. So
Right.
it's been a great, long story short, a really fantastic place to build the project.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, Randy, what are some of your favorite guitarists?
So my favorite guitarist, oh man, high school, like I mean, obviously like grew up on Jimmy Page, Van Halen, all that kind of stuff. And then lately more like, I think Wes Borland is fantastic. I really, man, honestly, so I'm an omnivore. I listen to metal and country and hip hop and EDM and all kinds of stuff. I've got, you know what, I don't know. I get inspiration from a lot of different people, because I'll like, I've got guitarists that I idolize, and you know, shredder guitarists, and then just more like riff guitarists.
Right.
Tom Morello, of course, and then there's producers that inspire me, like, you know, John Feldman, Rick Rubin, even like, you know, Skrillex or people like that, who just are very like pushing the boundaries. That's something that inspires me, as someone who is just able to really take, you know, sort of reinvent the wheel to do something that's just never really been done. I find it fascinating, and inspiring.
And Burke, who's one of your favorite vocalists?
Oh, I had all the guitar answers ready, because I was like, oh, it's the guys like, because I play guitar half the time for the set. So like James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett, I'm like, yeah, those guys. But I really love no, I just forgot Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. That dude can shred. Keith Urban can shred. Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters and what he can do. Now, as far as vocalists, like it's changed over the years. Like the 6 vocalists that got me into singing, number 1 will always be Chester Bennington, Linkin Park. It was like the first concert I ever saw. But then Corey Taylor, Sean Morgan from Seether, and then Adam Gontier from 3 Days Grace, and Benjamin Burley from Breaking Benjamin were kind of like what I started. And then as I got like, that was my foundation. Oh, and Sully Erna from Godsmack. So then as I moved over and learned about Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco, Brendan Urie has become one of my top like idols. I'm like, that dude, and Patrick Stump, the same thing, playing guitar and singing. So like those just wow voices, you know. Obviously got Gerard Way, you know, My Chemical Romance, like brilliant, fantastic. But yeah, the ones that like I'm like, I want to be great like them. Chester Bennington and Brendan Urie are probably the top for me.
Now, getting back to the videos like Sharpshooter and stuff like that, and Crown, who came up with that concept of you sitting on the edge of like now that's amazing. I never seen that before, and it fucking flipped me out. You know, especially because you got into the song. It's not like you're sitting there and you're clapping and like, so you know I watched it because I wouldn't know that stuff. You know?
So funny story is I'm actually terrified of heights. Absolutely terrified of heights. But one day I was talking to the videographer, the guy that was helping us for Chimerical, and we shot like the first lyric video, like just at a cool location. And I was like, man, it's kind of like the emotion. And I just looked up, and it was like, I lived at his house for like 6 months. And I was like, dude, what if we shot it at the roof? And he's like, can you get up there? And I was like, dude, I'll figure it out. And so we've got like footage of me shaking just to get on a roof, right? And then like we did Bad Dream in Mexico, and that one's pretty high up. Then Sharpshooter is on a 3-story building. And like I got footage of me climbing that. And then Crown was by far the highest. That was like a hotel. You can't even see it because of the way it's cut. But I'll fall to my death. And the kind of thought behind it was, if the viewer can be on top of the world with me while they're listening to the music, that's the emotion. And they don't know that I'm terrified of heights, but I'm like, in that moment, I'm not scared of heights. I'm performing my song. And so for me, it was just like, and it's funny because whoever's helping me, I'm shaking the whole time. And then I'm like, Sharpshooter was the scariest one, even though Crown was harder to get to. Crown, I had like a little safety seat like on the concrete, so I was okay. Sharpshooter, it's like, this is in Mexico. I'm like, is this stuff gonna hold me up? And they're like, it's wood. And so I'm just like, this isn't even cement, you know? And so I'm up there and literally like you're performing. As soon as I'm done, you hear me go, get me out, get me down, I'm done, take me out. And so they like carried me down. But yeah, I really appreciate that you caught that, because that's the whole idea, is I wanted to take the viewers up top with me and feel like they're on top of the world while they're just reading the lyrics.
Yeah. And I definitely felt that, you know, so it was, you know, especially the clapping part is with, you know, it was all good, all
Awesome.
good, you know,
Thank
and
you.
especially you did a follow-up video, right? With almost the same concept. And still, I got that same feeling even with the next track.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, they'll all be like that pretty much, because it's that where people are like, have you seen the lyric videos? It's the it's the one where the guy sits on top and, you know, that's a golden idea, something that people can use to describe it. I'm like, that's always going to work. Now hopefully I'll have the guys with me. Like I would love to do the side of a plane, obviously not in the air, but like on the wing of a plane, or Empire State Building would be so sick. Like I'm just like, let's go to Dubai. Let's do like, so that the crowd can grow with me as we get bigger and more popular. They're like, dude, the stakes have been raised higher. They're more elevated, and they get to grow with me. That's the idea.
That was definitely excellent. I loved it. Loved it, you know. So do you feel a lot of bands now are just putting out singles like every 3 months or something, and taking like a year or even a year and a half, and then finally dropping the album after all the singles? Was that the way to go now?
This might be divisive, but I think if they're smart and they're brand new, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
The main reason being is albums cost a lot of money,
Right.
and it's supply and demand. That's all what it is. It's like, let's get to the point where people want an album. You know, let's get to the point where people are like, hey, we need more of Allbrook Station. I think for the long-term career, and again, this is just my knowledge of what I've experienced, and I don't know everything, but for us, it made sense, because I'm like, let's prove that we are worth people's time. Let's get our name out there, because we don't have a major record label and we don't have millions of dollars at our disposal. And so it's hard to fight that. So we have to be very creative, very smart, and the songs have to matter, you know? And that way people start listening, and people start, pretty soon they'll say like, we need a whole album. And then once that happens, hopefully people go, we need these guys on tour because they put together a killer show. We need, you know, and it starts becoming that thing. I would love to drop an album, but like when we first started, when we dropped Chimerical, we had like 30 Instagram followers. We had like 10 streams on Spotify, because we were brand new from nothing. And so it's like, you drop that whole body of work for 17 people. You know, it's not saying that those 17 people don't matter, but it's like, this is something that we poured our savings into, our lives into. Let's make sure that we can push it out at the optimal time, so that more people get a chance to experience it. My thoughts.
Randy, when you saw how many views Sharpshooter got after him saying 30, then, you know, and now know it was 300,000, what goes through your mind then? We did our job?
Honestly, we were actually talking about this yesterday at rehearsals. Like, it's so many, you know, we've been working on this project for a few years, and it's a feeling of catharsis to see that, like, okay, all that hard work, all that effort into this launch wasn't for nothing. It's actually like working, you know, whether it's seeing numbers on, you know, on Spotify, whether it's like, I think for me, the most impactful thing was, so we just played our debut show last week, and we were like, okay, is anyone going to show up? It's, you know, and it was like a packed venue with, and not just like friends supporting one, like, you know, strangers none of us know, and like everyone's singing along. Like there was one of the songs where like I messed up the first couple of notes because I was so thrown off to hear everyone singing along to every word, and it was just like amazing. So I think just any little nuggets of success just feel like, okay, this wasn't all for nothing. Like it just feels like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, it just feels cathartic, you know?
Yeah.
Now, like you said, the album's not even out, and you got people singing to it. What's that feeling like, being on stage and seeing someone, you know, mouthing all your lyrics?
I would say, like, I looked at Jessie like when people started singing. Like these are unreleased songs. We've only had 4 songs out, right? We only have 4. So 4 out of the 13 that we played, there's 9 songs people have never heard of, and
Right.
they sing them. And so I look at Jessie and I'm like, it's working. So when I songwrite, I'm all about the hook, the chorus. That's it for me. Jessie's more of a verse guy, which I love because it's so unique and it draws you. You need both, right? But for me with chorus, and that's not to say Jessie hasn't written some choruses, but like that's my main focus is like when you go to a Kiss concert or a Journey or Aerosmith, you're singing by the second chorus because they're catchy, good Beatles,
Right.
you know, Metallica, they're singable songs. And that's why I was like, that's what I want ALLBROOK Station to be. I want friends to be like, oh, I've never heard of this band. And the friends go, it's okay. Trust me, you'll sing. By the second chorus, you'll get it. And they're easy, but they're also not like cheesy easy. They're fun, you know? I think Blink-182 was fantastic at that. Like it's like, I don't even need to sing. And Green Day, same thing. Like they just, you start singing. So for us, it was like to add on what Randy said, okay, we're doing it right. People are singing, they're vibing, and they're appreciating it. So for as a songwriter and the frontman, it was just blown away. Like, how are you guys singing this? You know, the lyrics, that's crazy. So it was a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Right. Now, you guys have any merchandise you like to talk about?
We do. We actually have a ton. I don't have the box with me. We pretty much sold out the first night, which was pretty crazy. Like we had like 9 t-shirts left over out of 200.
Wow.
And so it's just like amazing for us that the designs all worked, and there's 6 different designs. And now because we know it works, we pour it into the next phase and start getting bigger and bigger and more designs. But we'll start having cooler designs up on allbrookstation.com under the store. You'll go there and be able to purchase, and at the show, it's whatever's there. Online, you can customize the colors. You can customize, which designs you want with which type of shirt and hat. And eventually we'll have the backpacks and we're going the Kiss route, baby. I'm like, you want chapstick? We got it. You want gum? We got it. You want keys? Got it.
That's it.
That's it. Like, I want everything, man. I want it all.
And what the thing is, the fans actually want it too.
Yeah.
It's not just the band wants to sell stuff. Yeah, I'm sure they do. But I mean, the fans want the stuff just as much.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool for options. When you see, I saw a kid there that it was like, he saved up $20 to buy this shirt.
Right.
And it's like that pride of like, this is my first concert. There's $20. I loved it, And for us, like, yeah, the money, it's a business. It's called the music business, music industry, but that trumps it. Where it's just like, dude, these people on it. And mind you, this was a Tuesday night.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was 300 people that were there at this venue. And we're like, that's crazy. And we had VIP at $70, and we had 20 of them there, which was just crazy, where I'm just like, dude, people gave up their time and their money, not only to support, but to be entertained. And the best feeling is we didn't let them down.
So what is it like giving out an autograph now?
That was fun.
Go ahead, Randy.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, honestly, we learned the hard way that you should do those beforehand, because we were like scrambling, signing like 150.
Also, not do it in a circle, do it in a line.
It was a shit show, but it was a learning experience. It was fun. But it's like the first 20 signatures start out great, and then it turns into okay, just scribble. Let's get this.
Time. Yeah. It's a check mark. Yeah.
That's it. You guys plan on meet and greets or just VIP?
Yeah. So as much as possible, VIPs. In a perfect world, it would be they get to see sound check. They get first dibs at merch, because merch does sell out quick. They get signed gear, and then they get a meet and greet, photo op with the band. We have the whole backdrop and all that stuff. And then usually, like, what I'd love to do is a Q&A, where people come with great questions. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that'd be great to talk about it. So that's my thing, is they'll get to see a little snippet of it, and then a Q&A where, Randy, what's it like doing this? Or Nate, you're on drums. What goes through your mind? Kind of like this podcast, we just have moments with just them that's special. So yes, VIP is a big must.
Cool. So Burke, what's your dream come true for this album coming out?
Oh man, that is a really good question. There's the business side of me that wants to see us make great money from it, and know that all the efforts of marketing and recording. So there's that side, the business sense, that I'm like, I want to make sure we were profitable. But the other thing is, I would love it for us to take this album to take us to the lives that we want. you
Right.
know, talk about the dream houses, the dream situation for our spouses and our kids. And then to put us in a position where we can collab with some of our heroes, you know, like notify the greats so that they invite us to their crowd and their friends and come on tour with us, you know,
Yeah.
and also get us into movies and almost transcend just putting out an album, but that the album puts us out into the world and takes us to Japan or to Germany or to, you know, Rock in Rio, stuff like that. Like that's what I'm hoping for, is that the album produces the dream results that we want.
And how about you, Randy?
Honestly, so my bread and butter, I'm primarily a producer. That's my main job. So I work with a lot of different artists, you know, rock bands, metal bands. And for me, this is a nice change of pace because I grew up playing in bands. You know, I've always played guitar and keys in bands, and I haven't really had a chance to play shows for the last like 10, 12 years. So for me, you know, I've never gotten to do a proper tour. I've never gotten to like, you know, so this is kind of like bucket list stuff for me. Like, you know, while I'm still at the age where, you know, my joints aren't, you know, like my knees can still handle a couple guitar spins and stuff like that. I'd love to just, you know, tour the world and just really get to experience that side of things. And yeah, again, I'll always keep producing music the rest of my life, but like being in a band, I feel like is something that just, there's nothing like being on stage with people that, you know, that you click with and sharing music that is more like, again, a lot of the music it's like other artists' music that I sort of like accentuate, but like this is so much more of like our music that we're sharing with people that I love being a part of that.
Well, Burke and Randy, it was great talking to you guys. Really impressive band in my mind, and I see a great future for you guys. You know, just keep up the great work and give it the passion that you have already. You know, so
thank you.
Would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Yeah, I want to say first off, thank you for giving us the opportunity and the platform to talk about our dreams and talk about our music. That means a lot. You know, you've got millions of other artists you could be talking to right now. So taking the time to talk to us and pick our brains, thank you. And the kind words that you shared, that means a lot to us. Then I'd say for the fans, like expect bigger and expect more, because like, you know, like Crown, I've got a crown, but it's not big enough. Like that was the anthem of, yeah, we're good, but I want to be the best. You know, like I want to be in that conversation someday of the Hall of Fames and be one of the greatest rock bands that have ever come out of the 2020s. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. This was awesome. This was a lot of fun, and thank you for being a fan, man. Thank you.
I told you before, I don't get excited for interviews, but this I did. You know, all morning I've been running around. I can't wait. I can't wait. I hope they show up. I hope they show up. You
Of
know,
course, ALLBROOK Station shows up, man.
cool, cool. How about you, Randy? Want to say anything to fans out there?
Honestly, just yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for caring, for giving a shit. You know, it's great to, again, as I said earlier, you know, so much work, so much collaborative work has gone into this. You know, it's again, at rehearsals last night, we were kind of just talking, you know, because our DJ couldn't make it, and you could feel the vacancy of his contributions, and same at times when like our drummer can't make it, or you know, or like I'm out of town or whatever, and it's like it's very much a collective effort of you know each of us individually, and it's just been cool to see it. I don't know. Long story short, you know, it's just a passion project without fans actually caring. So the fact that like people have had any reception,
that's deep.
It's been awesome. So
I see big things for you guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can't wait to share this interview. Thank you so much.